88.9 WEKU is the national public radio station for the central/eastern Kentucky area. Nestled in the basement of the Perkins Building on Eastern Kentucky University's campus, WEKU's goal is to
provide the community with the best information in the region, just giving them news that they need to know, what's going on, what's happening, and connecting the community to what's happening not only in Kentucky but around the world.
The station just recently celebrated their 50th year of broadcasting. The first broadcast for WEKU was on October 7th, 1968, under EKU President Robert R. Martin. Since 1968, the biggest changes have involved technology and programming.
When I became director, the station was on, I think, approximately 6 hours a day. And during that time, about every year or two, in order to maintain a membership and it was a grant to the station, actual money, which we all needed, they required that you up your hours of broadcast. So we would comply with that, and pretty soon the hours that we were broadcasting began to increase nicely. As a result, we grew and grew and grew. The objective was to go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we finally did.
This increase in hours led to changes in programming.
Programming that we started out with was strictly classical music and some news, which was the All Things Considered portion of the day. And I don't even think that they had morning edition at that time, or really a very great array of programming supplied. So we were classical music. We were known for classical music and jazz. We would have jazz late at night. And we would have old-time radio, was really popular, some of the old radio programs.
WEKU would broadcast radio programs like Star Wars and even local radio plays on historic people in Kentucky. In 1980, the move from the former Donovan building to where it is located now in the Perkins Building allowed for an expansion of technology as well.
As always, when we're talking equipment, it costs money, and money was hard to come by. It is today, and it was then as well. We were fortunate along the way in the 80s to go in. They had a grant, federal grant, NTIA grant, which allowed for purchasing equipment, so we could have funds to both improve our equipment that we had in the station, as well as create, in fact we did, new stations. So this is how we built the Hazard station, and we built the Corbin station as well, from funds from that source.
Technology went from tapes, records, and CDs to a digital age during the 50 years WEKU has been broadcasting. Currently, the station has made efforts to expand the reach of the station outside of the typical radio signal.
The most recent update we've had is the WEKU app, where people are able to go on and listen to either the news station or the classical station, and then you can also listen to any program on demand. Being able to be on the forefront of the latest technology is so important in this day and age.
While the technology has changed over the years, so has the audiences, causing a change in programming.
10+ years ago, we found that the traditional classical music stations were kind of losing listeners. It was the older crowd and so on. So switched over to news format, which was a great improvement in terms of building audience and keeping an audience. So
it's all talk radio. There's no classical music. On WEKU, there's a separate station for that now.
Radio has been one of the most enjoyed entertainment and informational mediums since its creation. As culture and technology has changed over time, so has 88.9 WEKU, leaving them as a trusting source for people in Kentucky.
I think people should listen because like I had mentioned earlier, we not only give you what's going on in the world, but we also tie it into the community and what's happening in Kentucky, and bringing, the central and eastern Kentucky, Appalachian area cultural aspect. We understand our listeners, our listenership, and bringing people just the news and information that they need to know of what's happening here.